Hello, dear archivists, dear colleagues and friends. It's with very great pleasure and joy that I warmly welcome you to the International Archives Week 2025. It's a very special moment to reflect, connect, and engage as a global community of archival professionals. So this year's campaign under the hashtag Archives are accessible has sparked meaningful conversations across our social media platforms since April this year. So today we are proud to take that conversation even further with 11 webinars happening throughout the week. These sessions will bring colleagues together from around the world to share insights, debate pressing challenges, and find common ground in our shared mission to advance access in the archival field. Since its launch in 2019, the International Archives Week has worked to raise awareness of the essential role archives play in our societies. In 2025, we take a bold step forward, framing access not only as a professional issue, but as a societal one. Access matters to all of us, to those who manage archives, consult them, build them, and those who challenge them to write history, build memory, and defend rights. This campaign was made possible through the dedicated coordination of the ICA Secretariat and the generous support of ICA members who shared their powerful testimonies, including Pilar Fernandez-Paterna, Simon Fraud, Emel Sharon, Marina Czerniawska, Anna Flavia Magalhães, and last but not least, Dr. Hamoud Al-Mutari, who is our new incoming ICA Vice President Program, and to whom I extend my warmest greetings. Special thanks also to our professional sections, regional branches, and expert groups who helped shape the campaign's foundation and evaluate the contributions to this year's lightning talks, such as Sebastian Gocciolo section on archives of literature and art, Hapisa Osman from the expert group of managing digital and physical records, Jordi Padilla Delgado from the ICA Working Group on Sex Effective and Gender Diversity Archives and Archivists, Nampombe Sarombe from the Expert Group of Research Archives and Outreach. I'm also very grateful to the FAN, the Forum of National Archivists, the Association of Latin American Archivists, ALA, and our institutional partners such as Photo Consortium, UNESCO, and the Digital Preservation Coalition for co-organizing this rich program of webinars. And most importantly, thank you to all ICA members who year after year unite their voices to celebrate this global network and promote its values within their own communities. The message we share today is one we all believe in. Archives are powerful, and when open to all, they become a true force for justice, inclusion, and connection. So enjoy this week, take part in the discussions, and help us amplify this message across your own networks. I wish you all a very happy International Archives Week, and thank you very much.
Josée, thank you so much for those words and for welcoming us, this archival community, to the 7th edition of the International Archives Week. Today, I greet you from Paris, France, where the ICA Secretariat is located. My name is Maria Paula Garcia, and with Josée and my colleagues Clemence Almejas and Sofia Tips, we will be supporting you and welcoming you to this first lighting talk that will open this International Archives Week. Now, the Lighting Talks is a new format that we have designed for this International Archives Week, and it's a dynamic session which showcases innovative perspectives on access to archives from around the world. These lighting talks are part of the 7th edition and reflect, as Josée mentioned, this year's theme, that is, archives are accessible. Each presentation has been prepared by IC members from across the globe, sharing real experiences, insights, and projects that aim to remove barriers and expand access to archives in diverse contexts. To support accessibility, Zoom automated closed captions are available. Please activate them at the bottom of your Zoom screen. You can also select your preferred language for live translations. And I'm mentioning this because today we will have presentations in English, French, and Spanish. So for those who would like to have closed captions, please select your preferred language. Now, each speaker will have 5 minutes to present, followed by a brief moment for questions or comments. We invite you to use the Q&A box to share your thoughts or questions as we go along. But now let's begin with our first presentation, Helping Archives in India, Benchmarking Tool. The speakers are Jaya Ravindran and Shreyasi Pathak. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Team ICA, for letting us be part of the celebration. I'm just waiting for Shreyasi to share the screen. Anyway, good morning, everyone, and wishing you all on the occasion of International Archives Week. I'm Jaya Ravindran, Foundation India. Today, we are here to introduce you all to a benchmarking tool for archives that we are working on. But before that, a brief introduction to Milli. What is Milli? Milli Archives Foundation is a non-profit network of archives and archivists. Our key objective is nurturing archives and making them accessible to all. In our next slide, I'll be showing the activities that we are engaged in. It's multifarious, right from training and education to development of open access archival tools to providing specialized archival services. And of course, we also engage in some projects along with our network members. Now, next slide, please. We all agree that usability is an integral part of archives, and access and accessibility are closely related to that. Tracy, can you please? Can you please change the slide? Access and accessibility are closely related to usability. And we agree that this has to be seen in the context of the International Archives Week theme this year. Archives are accessible. And of course, here we are showing you two sides of a flash, which we generally use to help people differentiate between access and accessibility. Next one. How does ICA's 2025 theme apply in the context of archives in India? India, as we all know, is a land of immense diversity in terms of region, religion, people, climate, languages, and all. But does that get reflected in access and accessibility measures? How are archives viewed in India, especially in a climate where history writing and role of archives is undisputed? Archives still remains an enigma. For most, it's an inaccessible spot. This speaks volumes about the issue of access in India. Shreyasi, next slide. What exactly are the problems which we face? Of course, problems are multifarious, right from lack of comprehensive data on the number of archives, the different types of archives or the formats in which they are available, There's a lack of awareness about accessing archives. There are lack of standard guidelines on archiving, lack of standards for maintenance and management of archives, and we can't even imagine the way the disabled taken care of here. So what are we planning to do about it? Keeping the challenges in mind, next one, please. We are working on a project called Assessment of Archives and Development of a Benchmarking Tool for Archives in India. The overall objective of the project is self-assessment for the archives. They are to go through the assessment questions that will help them assess their own capacities, help them improve themselves. This is not about finding the best or the worst. It's all about creating awareness about standards in archiving, trying to figure out how their record holdings can be made accessible without jeopardizing the longevity of the holdings. The total number of questions in the questionnaire that we'll be sharing is around 145. It has been divided into 12 sections with 2 exclusively dedicated to access and accessibility. This would be, in fact, first of its kind in India. Over to Shreyasi.
Thanks, Jaya. So next up, generally, how do these questions work? Most of the questions are in multiple choice format with detailed options, and also in others options that can be typed out. Responses, like the options that we have given, range from yes, no, can't say, are not under consideration, unable due to lack of resources, etc. As the options give a variety of reasons to choose from. Some of the sample questions are, is the archives open to access? Do archives have different access policies for different users? Are all the records cataloged and have finding aids? Does your archive have a SOP for digitization? Secondly, how do the questions around accessibility work? The questions consider aspects of transcription and captioning, audio catalogs, quiet spaces, accessibility in heritage buildings, accessible toilets, seating, etc. The questionnaire aims to go beyond the 21 disabilities listed in the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016 by Government of India. Some sample questions are, do you have disabled or neurodivergent employees? Do you provide accessibility information on your website? Are the reading spaces, reference areas accessible to wheelchair users and users with other mobility aids? So with that, our plans in the near future are to further discuss member of finalize and roll out the questionnaire as soon as possible, and to develop a similar assessment form exclusively for user experience. Thank you, patience, and please feel free to ask questions or share comments.
Thank you for that presentation. We have one question from the audience from Gisela Trujillo, who mentioned from the Waseda University in Tokyo. Do international organizations participate in this archives network? If so, which and what is your relationship with them?
Currently, we are still getting queries. So in fact, being a non-profit, we are right now focusing on the institutions within the country, but we would be definitely open to any queries, or if we can have international participation, nothing like it. Of course, we participate in seminars and all, but for the projects, we haven't specifically reached out to anyone, perhaps because, after this presentation, maybe we'll have more queries, and we'll be definitely looking for that.
Great. So I think that we are going with the time. So at the end, we can have like a general panel with all the speakers. But right now, we will pass to the second presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
For this first intervention. So I will welcome Mac Gill from the Digital Museum of the History of Japanese in New York, who will present us how this all digital museum enhances accessibility through bilingual content and standards and community engagement. Mac, the floor is yours.
Wonderful, thank you. Hello, I'm Mac. I'm project manager for the Digital Museum of the History of Japanese in New York. Really excited to be here, and thank you to ICA for this opportunity to talk and showcase the exhibit. So one great thing about being a digital-only museum is that I can take all of you directly to our museum. Um, So, welcome to the Digital Museum of the History of Japanese in New York. It was started in 2020 as a Born Digital initiative to highlight the stories of Japanese and Japanese Americans living in the New York tri-state area. We're a nonprofit museum, free and open to the public. We operate off grant funding and donations. In 2025 so far, we've had a total of 10,000 visitors since the start of the year. So one of the best things about operating as an online only, online exclusive museum is that we can reach people around the world. So this year so far, our visitors have been primarily from the US, Japan, and Germany. We've seen a large number of visitors from Germany recently, so that's great and exciting. Not sure why, but happy to have them. And we don't have to worry about the restrictions of physical space, especially in regards to exhibits and the archive, which means we can keep our exhibits up and online and available in perpetuity. Um, some of the difficulties that we face is particularly in finding funding. Grants are sort of a constant process or constant part of the job, finding and applying and making sure that our applications are solid so that we can get money to continue doing our work and continuing to keep our museum as accessible as possible. It can also be difficult to convince donors to continue donating money or time or materials due to the online nature of the museum. It can be harder to see sort of the value in donating to something that doesn't have a physical aspect or a physical thing that's really happening in the same way that an in-person or a physical museum might have special exhibits or special highlights that they do for donors. So that's one of the things that we're currently working on is donor relations and what it means to, donate to something that's online only and how we can reflect those really important interactions between us and the community and those people who support us. So our archive is something that I would describe as sort of a non-traditional archive. It's all available online through the museum, but we're not just uploading documents or materials. One of the aspects that we want to focus on for the museum is the story and context behind the material rather than just putting a whole bunch of stuff out there. So that involves writing sort of much more detailed and descriptive, almost story-like aspects to the materials that we're uploading. At present, we have about 200 different stories that are available in the archive. Some are standalone individual uploads, while others are also tied into the exhibits that we've had. So this does allow for more context and more information to people who are accessing the archive, but it can also be a lengthy process to research and then write a suitable archival page, meaning that growing our archive can be slow. We're a fairly small staff, two of us, in fact, which means that we're wearing sort of a lot of different hats. And it can be sort of prioritization of job duties and aspects of the museum is sort of always something that we're juggling and working on. Uh, Also, in regards to that, our exhibits. So this is our most recent exhibit that opened in March of this year. So Unforgotten New York Stories, Japanese and Japanese Americans in the 1940s. So again, all of our exhibits are available online forever, essentially. And the entire website is also bilingual Japanese and English. So that means you can view it in either of those languages. We don't have support for other languages yet, and that's not something that's necessarily on our radar as we do sort of have our hands full, but it is Japanese and English. So with this most recent exhibit, what we really wanted to focus on was keeping people engaged and keeping people within sort of the exhibit space. It's really easy in a physical space when people are in a room, but can sort of get lost in web pages when you're clicking on links going outside of the website, things like that. So one of the things that we did, hopefully if it works, are these sidebars that pull out to keep people within the exhibit space. And making sure that they're not, clicking link after link and getting lost within web pages. And, that's really what we're focusing on going forward is what does it mean to make inventive, interesting, engaging exhibits when you only have web pages to work with, in a sense. We have a lot of text, which we're trying to sort of move away from. We really want it to be visual and engaging and interactive. So our exhibit for 2026, which is looking at the world's fairs in New York, the Japan pavilions in particular, will be having interactive 3D models in the web page. And so it feels a little bit like we're sort of inventing what it means to be a digital museum and what it means to be digital only as we're going along. But I think that's one of the really interesting parts about this museum and working here is that it's all new, and it's sort of whatever we make it to be. So yeah, and thank you very much. I think I'm a little over, but thank you very much for listening. I hope this has been interesting. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mac. We have 3 questions. I will start with the first one from Angie Cervellera, who said, when donating, do you ask for the picture owners to release certain rights on their pictures? And using, for example, licenses, and are these licenses or any other visible somewhere?
Yes, so that's actually what we're working on now is our sort of submission guidelines and process. We are not asking that owners transfer copyright over to us. They will retain copyright, but they give us permission to host the images within the archive and potentially use them in future exhibits or future promotional materials for the museum itself, and sort of acknowledging that this is something that will exist for as long as possible in an online digital state.
Okay, we have another question related to digitization, and is, do you digitize in-house or outsource?
Volunteers. So a little bit of both. They're volunteers who are associated with the Japanese American Association of New York. So not directly museum employees or direct museum volunteers. They do a variety of things, but part of their volunteer work is digitizing the collections that the Japanese American Association of New York has and getting those online for us to upload into the archive itself.
Good. Okay, we have 2 questions now in the Q&A box. The first one is, are you also planning to provide some audio presentations of materials?
Not yet. So the website is compatible with screen readers. So there is that component to audio that is functional. And we also have oral history an oral history project as well that's available through the museum, but we don't have any sort of audio guide to the museum.
Good. And I think that you mentioned this, but Muhammad Mirza asked how many staff is working at your organization?
So we have 2 employed staff, myself and our curator, and we have a steering committee that sort of directs our activities, and then we have a larger board as well that directs the activities in a grander sense.
Good. And finally, we have another question in the chat box, and is, what is your collection policy? Do you know, do you do like an open call for digital collections, or how do you manage that?
So we're still fairly small, so we haven't gotten a lot of sort of unprompted submissions yet, but that is part of the submission guidelines that we are working on. The largest sort of deciding factor is that it does have to relate to Japanese and Japanese American history within New York and that tri-state area. Beyond that, we're mostly looking at pre-1970s right now, and looking at sort of the initial wave of immigrants to New York, and sort of during and post World War II, after the internment camps and that sort of movement to New York as well. So.
Great. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
So now we turn to the presentation titled Digital Pages Make Files Accessible. And our speaker is Zhu Minglong, who joined us from China. Zhu, are you ready?
Okay.
Great.
Okay, thanks for your introduction. This is an honor to participate in this event on International Archive stage. I'll give a speech in English and answer relevant questions in Chinese. Hello, everyone. I'm Zhu Minglong, a master's student from Yangzhou University, major in archives, and my research area is archive management. The topic I share with you today is digital home, a new method to make archives accessible. I would also like to thank Professors Sun Jun and Huang Xiaoyu for their guidance on this day. In today's sharing, I mainly focus on four aspects. One is the basic background, then I'll introduce two related cases, and finally share some of my personal reflection. First, background. We all know that in current digital environment, 5G mobile phone and so on are reshaping the global lifestyles. In this process, China is also continuing to explore more community ways to provide archive service. Um, and now, all aspects of society are now being arranged with digital service. As the basic unit of people's life, the family has become the best places to receive all kinds of social service. So the digital family has emerged. In recent years, China has continued to explore ways to social service through the digital home in order to improve people's life experience. For example, installing a digital government and building integrated platforms for government service. The digital home is also an important element in Chinese explorer of digital China. In 2021, Chinese department joined the guidelines on accelerating the development of digital home and improving the quality of residents called for a more complete system of health, education, medical care, fitness, and other digital home life service by the end of 2025. In addition, this year, the construction of digital home implemented method in the key point of 2025 digital work issued by Chinese National Debt employment. Next, I will present two practical examples of digital home and archive access from China. First one is Kunshan Digital Family Archive Inter Platform. In the past, in China, we need to submit some necessary materials to archives or relevant departments to inquire about the records, which took a lot of time. In August 2023, the Digital Family Record platform of Pencheng Community in Kunshan Development Zone, Jiangsu Province, China, was officially launched, becoming the first community in the city to set up digital family records. The platform uploads various types of living hold records, such as birth certificates, graduation certificates, and other community results in one place. By inputting their ID numbers, people can inquire about their own family affairs in the relevant pages. The opening of the platform opened the public message of family fair quasar 0 in red mode. And present, in addition to Kunshan, other regions are also exploring how to incorporate the file information service as the part of government information service. Okay, now next things we are going to share with you the digital family digital home archives app design. This is a current research result from a team of students from the School of Information Resource Management, Wuhan University, China. We can know that in China, people will qualify the broader relationship between family members through family trees, which will closely link family members together and create a strong sense of belonging and identity among family members. The School of Information Resource Management of Wuhan University has created a digital family archive app based on digital technology. The users of this app are mainly for those who wish to pass on the family history and the tradition to their children through records, or to gain in-depth understanding of families' origins, traditions, and family members through. In addition, as well as those who are able to preserve, preserve memories of their departed loved one. The app is based on a mobile app format where users can create their own events, parents, such as parents, partner, children, and also switch to the extended family on this homepage. After clicking on a persons, the user can see the image of that family members. These adventures will tell the life stories of the person they present and communicate with you in that person's voice. Description from traditional papers, books, software, or other software. Digital people can communicate in a more lively ways. Convenience voice input date and interpretation anytime, anywhere to view family information. I think this also bring emotions comfort to the elder who feel lonely at the end of life, and also reproduction of the decisions that are relevant to correctly face the impact of life and death, especially for agents to bring about healthy effects. And finally, I will share some of my personal reflections about digital home to make archives accessible. First of all, it archives awareness of family members' participation in digital family construction. I think archives areas is the pressure of archive work. The stronger the archive awareness of family members, the more to the effective collections of archival information. The more connected to the formation of the authentic and complete archival materials to maximize the satisfaction of the needs of users. Secondly, promote the exchange and collaboration of archive information serves subjects in the construction of the family. I think embedding archive information service on the construction of digital family not only requires talking with the archive departments and medical departments, but with the technology conditions of with the maturity of technology the expansion of service conveyance. More organizations will participate in the construction of the digital family system so as to make archives information resource commonly to the maximum extent. Finally, strengthen data security of digital family archives. Archive data is important data records and it's necessary to strengthen the security of digital family archive data to ensure the effective operation of archives information service, impacting the construction of digital home. For example, strengthen the rule of law for digital home data security, reduce the security risks of archive data in the processing transmission. In addition, strengthen the construction of archive data security technology barriers to ensure the available and the security of data on the digital home archive platforms. Above is what I share today, and if you know more about the contact way between digital home and archive access, you can get in touch with me in this email. Okay.
Sure. Thank you so much for that presentation. We just have 1 minute left. So I will ask, well, I will share first that Jill Fegin said that this is amazing. And then Jung Pok asked the following. She said, for the platform which you allow members of the public to upload their personal records, are there restrictions in place when providing access to such data?
Of course, we every in China, everyone can research their some digital archives, and we have take some rules to attach them. Oh, sorry, please, you may use Chinese to research. 目前我们对于就是上传到这个系统上的这些人，他是没有任何的限制的。但是我们在使用的时候，我们会征得，比如说档案的这种上传者，在一开始的时候，我们会就是给他们签订一些协议，然后以保证他们这种档案的这种后期的向社会的公开。比如说是否可以向社会公开，或者说可以作为一些研究来使用。OK。
I hope June knows Chinese, but thank you for that show. So, no worries, no worries. No worries. Thank you for that.
Finally, I will.
Yes, yeah. Okay, June understood. Okay. Thank you. We need now to pass to the next presentation, but I will share with you the last question that was shared by an anonymous attendee. So, Shu, thank you so much. So right now we are going to another country. We are going to Argentina, and now I will invite our fourth presentation, that will be presented by Laura. Give me 2 seconds, I just forgot. Here it is. Laura Mariana Casareto y Angie Cervellera, who will present this project in Spanish. So I will ask all the audience to activate their closed captions so you can check the translation at the bottom of your screens. Laura, Angie, les doy la palabra para que nos presenten este proyecto sobre Open GLAM, archivos y el movimiento de Wikipedia.
Muchísimas gracias. Hola, buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches, según donde nos estén escuchando. Somos Angie Cervellera de Wikimedia Argentina, coordinadora del programa de Cultura y Conocimiento Abierto, y Laura Casareto, directora y docente de la Universidad Nacional de La Plata y específicamente del Archivo Histórico de la Universidad de La Plata. Hoy vamos a hablar de el Open GLAM, de cómo los archivos se pueden trabajar junto al movimiento Wikimedia, abriéndolos. Concepto que vamos a ver ahora. Por un lado, bueno, nosotros hablamos del concepto de Open GLAM, que tiene que ver con el acrónimo GLAM, que es galerías, bibliotecas, archivos y museos en inglés. Cuando le sumamos Open GLAM, estamos hablando de abrir esos contenidos de estas galerías, librerías, archivos, museos. Y cuando hablamos de abrir, básicamente estamos hablando de dotarle a estos contenidos culturales una cualidad de abiertos, y abiertos significa que cualquier persona alrededor de todo el mundo puede acceder, reutilizar, modificar o compartir sin ningún tipo de barrera esos contenidos para cualquier propósito. Para esto se van a utilizar licencias libres, como las licencias Creative Commons, que no sé si aquí las conocen, en especial unas licencias que se llaman CC BY y CC Visa, o en los documentos, ya sean fotografías, ya sean digitalizaciones de cualquier tipo de documento de archivo, tienen que estar en dominio público. dominio público depende siempre de las leyes de cada país, ¿verdad? Cuando hablamos de estas iniciativas de Open GLAM en el entorno Wikimedia, hablamos de una gran comunidad que es GLAM Wiki, que es una comunidad formada por lo que seríamos los capítulos Wikimedia, como Wikimedia Argentina, grupos de usuarios, voluntarios y voluntarias alrededor de todo el mundo que van a estar participando de mejorar los contenidos relacionados ya sea a los archivos, ya sea a los museos, a la historia, a la ciencia, a la cultura de cada región, de cada país, de cada localidad. Por eso, muy brevemente, les queríamos presentar, voy a pasar acá y después vuelvo atrás, los proyectos Wikimedia, que es donde todos estos documentos van a estar cargados. Hay un montón, el más conocido es Wikipedia, pero nosotras con estas iniciativas de archivos y movimiento Wikimedia trabajamos sobre Wikimedia Commons, que es el repositorio donde se cargan los archivos que no tienen copyright, es decir, que los autores siempre se reconocen, pero que han liberado y han cedido todos los derechos de reproducción, de comunicación y demás. De ahí que nosotros podemos decir que es un acceso abierto a los documentos, porque se permite mejorarlos, modificarlos, reutilizarlos en investigaciones, en educación y en realidad en cualquier fin. Ahora les vamos a hablar un poco de una iniciativa que es Archivos en Vigilia, que está dentro de este movimiento de Open GLAM. Del movimiento de Open GLAM involucra otras instituciones, otras organizaciones que no solo son los proyectos Wikimedia, son otras comunidades, pero que tienen el mismo objetivo todas. Buscamos que la cultura, la historia de las sociedades sea accesible de manera gratuita y sin ninguna barrera, y que también sean las propias comunidades las que pueden ser protagonistas de esa construcción del conocimiento. Por eso decimos que las iniciativas Open GLAM aseguran el acceso abierto a Internet. Y ahora sí, si querés comentar vos sobre nuestra alianza.
Bueno, entre Wikimedia Argentina y el Archivo Histórico de la Universidad Nacional de La Plata, venimos trabajando en varias instancias que implican la visibilización de archivos, de los procesos archivísticos, y aquí les mencionamos algunas. En el 2021 hicimos un evento que llamó Celebrar los Archivos, hicimos encuentros sobre conservación de diversos soportes a lo largo del tiempo, sobre archivos y pueblos indígenas. En la universidad ganamos un proyecto de Wikimedia Argentina sobre archivos abiertos es un derecho. Visibilizamos, trabajamos sobre cómo visibilizar esos fondos y colecciones abiertas en Wikimedia Commons, sobre archivos personales de memorias que están invisibilizadas o desaparecidas, en el caso de los procesos dictatoriales en Brasil y Argentina, y llevamos 5 ediciones de lo que les comentaba mi compañera, que es Archivos en Vigilia, que viene del 2021 al 2025 y continúan estas ediciones, y les vamos a contar cómo trabajamos con los archivos en Archivos en Vigilia. ¿Querés pasarla, Filmina? Les vamos a mostrar un video que dura un minutito nada más, para contarles de esta iniciativa, y después ya quedan poquito y terminamos.
¿Sabías que los archivos son fundamentales para sostener la democracia? Hola, soy Angie Cervellera, coordinadora del programa de Cultura y Conocimiento Abierto de Wikimedia Argentina.
Y yo soy Casareto, la directora del Archivo Histórico de la Universidad Nacional de La Plata. Y juntas organizamos desde el año 2021 Archivos en Vigilia, una acción política cultural que da a conocer distintos archivos relacionados a las dictaduras en Argentina y Latinoamérica.
Estos documentos son cargados en Wikimedia Commons, la mediateca abierta y colaborativa donde personas de todo el mundo aprenden, comparten y mejoran contenido científico, histórico y cultural. Para integrar esta mediateca virtual, los archivos tienen que estar libres de copyright.
Las normas internacionales y las leyes nacionales de propiedad intelectual, acceso a la información y protección de datos son el marco legal para que estos documentos puedan estar en acceso abierto. Acceder libremente a los archivos ayuda a garantizar derechos fundamentales de una sociedad democrática como son la identidad y la memoria.
Por eso, si colaboras en instituciones culturales, educativas y de memoria, te invitamos a liberar en Wikimedia Commons documentos relacionados con la historia más reciente de nuestro país y de la región.
Sumate a Archivos en Vigilia durante el mes de marzo para que los archivos sigan siendo protagonistas de los procesos de memoria y verdad. Bueno, esta iniciativa, como bien dice el video y como bien decía nuestra compañera, tiene que ver con convocar a distintas instituciones que conservan documentos sobre los procesos de memoria, verdad y justicia, no solo de Argentina, sino que se sumaron otros capítulos de Wikimedia, como Wikimedia Brasil y Wikimedia México, y en estos, pasamos la filmina, y en estas actividades que se hacen en el marco de Archivos en Vigilia, no solo lo interesante de estas instancias es que no solo se trabaja y se enseña y se asesora y se capacita sobre los proyectos Wikimedia, sino que lo que siempre decimos nosotras es que para llegar a abrir los archivos se requieren un montón de procesos, entonces trabajamos sobre las legislaciones que nos permiten abrir esos archivos, sobre cómo se describen, se organizan, se conservan y se digitalizan esos documentos, aparte de trabajar sobre la mediateca de Wikimedia Commons. Entonces, abordamos también allí los procesos archivísticos y el trabajo técnico que implica la apertura de los archivos y las instituciones GLAM. Si querés podemos pasar la diapositiva. Bueno, como unas conclusiones de fortalezas que tienen estos espacios de trabajo entre instituciones GLAM y los proyectos, los proyectos Wikimedia y el trabajo que hacemos con Wikimedia Argentina, es bueno, esta colaboración y visibilidad, ¿no? en torno a los principios de Open GLAM y trabajar en esto desde el sur global y de poder contar y difundir y visibilizar nuestras propias historias, nuestra propia memoria, y surge también de los problemas que tienen los archivos en Argentina y por lo que venimos escuchando en otros lugares del mundo también, de poder apoyar, llegar a ese open del GLAM, decimos nosotras, digo, de poder, no es algo sencillo, entonces poder trabajar esas instancias para poder abrir los archivos es parte de estas iniciativas. Y ya tenemos las últimas diapositivas y estamos terminando. Bueno, una memoria que no es accesible es una memoria que se olvida, y en la última tienen nuestros contactos por si quieren hacer alguna pregunta después. Gracias.
Laura, hay solo una pregunta de un participante anónimo que dice en inglés, what monitoring is conducted on the uploaded materials? Como, ¿qué monitoreo se realiza en los contenidos que son subidos a...
Como les decíamos, Archivos en Vigilia tiene varias instancias, no es solamente liberar la documentación, sino que se hace un seguimiento personalizado, se podría decir a cada institución que se invita a participar. Entonces vamos trabajando con Wikimedia Argentina y con archivos y con la legislación que tenemos en Argentina sobre si esa documentación es posible de ser liberada o no en el repositorio. Entonces vamos orientando a las diversas instituciones, a los archivistas y a los profesionales que trabajan en esas instituciones para esto, digo, de si se puede subir o no la documentación.
Perfecto. Mil gracias, Laura y Angie. Tienen una última pregunta de Adriana Inestrosa, pero dado que ya no tenemos más tiempo, les invito a responderle directamente. So now I'm going to switch to English and we will have our last presentation in French. Donc, je vous invite à utiliser votre sous-titre parce que notre présentation, la dernière qu'on a, sera conduite en français par Irène VEGLO. Irène, la parole est à vous.
Chers professionnels de l'information documentaire, chers collègues passionnés des archives et de l'accès équitable au savoir, bonjour. C'est un honneur pour moi de vous présenter ce discours éclair sur le thème archives et accessibilité à l'ère du tout numérique. Aujourd'hui, avec un simple téléphone ou ordinateur, on peut consulter des documents conservés à des milliers de kilomètres. C'est une avancée immense pour la diffusion du savoir. Mais derrière cette révolution, plusieurs défis mal anticipés peuvent compromettre la réussite de cette transformation. Premier défi, l'accès aux technologies et aux équipements. Les équipements de numérisation professionnelle coûtent cher et toutes les institutions n'y ont pas accès. Il ne suffit pas de scanner. Il faut aussi investir dans des infrastructures de stockage, de sauvegarde et dans la formation du personnel. À cela s'ajoute l'inégalité d'accès aux outils numériques. Une grande partie de la population mondiale n'a pas accès au débit à Internet. Malgré les avancées numériques, seuls 40% de la population africaine ont accès à Internet, avec de fortes disparités rurales, de genre et de coûts. Résultat, au lieu de rapprocher, la numérisation risque de creuser une nouvelle fracture. Pour y remédier, plusieurs solutions existent. Créer des centres d'accès public à Internet, développer des plateformes qui consomment peu de données, installer des bornes numériques dans des lieux accessibles à tous, comme les mairies, les bibliothèques et les centres de documentation. Deuxième défi, l'organisation et la gestion de l'information. Numériser ne suffit toujours pas. Si un document est mal indexé ou mal décrit, il reste invisible même en ligne. De nombreuses archives numérisées restent inaccessibles faute de bonnes pratiques d'organisation. Moins de 30% des institutions disposent de dépôts numériques fonctionnels. Et trop souvent, on scanne sans revoir l'organisation, ni créer des métadonnées, ni définir des workflows adaptés, encore moins standardiser les procédures. Et que dire des plateformes peu intuitives, trop techniques, voire décourageantes pour les non-initiés. Pour une réelle accessibilité, il faut des moteurs de recherche simples, un langage clair et compréhensible, des interfaces adaptées aux personnes en situation de handicap avec lecteur d'écran et format inclusif. Il ne suffit pas de penser uniquement aux chercheurs, mais aussi aux élèves, aux citoyens curieux et aux plus vulnérables. Troisième défi, la protection des données personnelles. Les archives contiennent parfois des données personnelles sensibles. Leur exposition en ligne augmente les risques de fuite ou de piratage. Il est donc indispensable d'utiliser des systèmes de cryptage ou de chiffrement, de contrôler rigoureusement l'accès aux documents, d'anonymiser certaines informations avant publication. Tout cela doit se faire dans le respect des lois internationales et nationales, notamment au Bénin, avec le Code du numérique, loi numéro 2017-20 du 20 avril 2018, qui encadre la protection des données personnelles. Chers collègues, notre métier a évolué. Nous ne sommes plus seulement des gardiens de documents, mais des médiateurs entre la mémoire et le public. À nous de bâtir désormais des environnements numériques simples, inclusifs et sûrs pour que chacun puisse accéder librement à son histoire, à sa culture et à ses droits. Parce qu'à l'ère du tout numérique, rendre les archives accessibles n'est pas un luxe, c'est un droit fondamental. Je vous remercie.
Irène, merci beaucoup pour votre présentation. J'ai une question, un petit longue, mais il dit, comment les institutions peuvent-elles concilier les impératifs de sécurité, d'inclusion et d'accessibilité dans un environnement numérique où les inégalités d'équipement et de compétences persistent entre les territoires?
Bon, je pense que je n'ai pas trop bien saisi la question, mais
pour moi, la question, c'est les défis que la numérisation présente. Parce que dans les impératifs de la sécurité et de l'inclusion, il y a aussi des inégalités pour l'accessibilité d'équipements et des compétences pour utiliser l'équipement. Donc, comment on peut concilier l'objectif de la sécurité, mais attend de savoir qu'il y a une égalité pour comment on dit, les défis de la manière et pour l'utilisation de l'équipement.
D'accord. Déjà, je crois que pour une réelle inclusion, il faut faire ce qu'on appelle une bonne numérisation. Il ne faut pas seulement scanner les documents, il faut bien les indexer, les nommer et tout ça. Et ça doit être fait par les professionnels de l'information, des gens qui ont été formés des gens qui ont les compétences nécessaires pour indexer des documents. Trop souvent, ce que nous constatons, sans vouloir créer de polémique, c'est que les informaticiens pensent qu'il suffit de mettre un document dans un scanner et hop, il est numérisé. Mais non, c'est le rôle de l'archiviste, par exemple, ou de l'information du professionnel de l'information documentaire, de non seulement donner la procédure, la méthode, l'organisation à suivre pour une bonne numérisation. Et je proposais aussi tout à l'heure dans mon discours qu'il faut plutôt créer des centres d'accès à Internet parce que effectivement en Afrique, nous avons un grand problème d'accès à Internet. Tout le monde n'a pas réellement l'accès à Internet. Donc, je prends pour exemple le gouvernement qui peut mettre en place des lieux d'accès à Internet dans des mairies, des centres de documentation, ainsi de suite. Et pour finir avec la sécurité, il faut associer, bien sûr, je dis associer les responsables des systèmes d'information. Je crois qu'il y a une politique de la sécurité des systèmes d'information qui a été mise en place au Bénin. Je ne sais pas si c'est le cas dans d'autres pays, mais l'informaticien doit travailler en étroite collaboration avec les archivistes pour définir les règles de sécurité. Merci.
Merci. Merci, Irène. Si vous pourriez arrêter là de partager la présentation, serait génial.
D'accord.
Well, so this is the end of this first lighting talk. I will invite all our speakers to turn on their camera so we can say goodbye to all the audience. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Josée, for joining us. This has been a great start. And I hope that everybody that has joined us can also join the different webinars that we have prepared this week. We will talk about inclusion and representation. We will have a moment to talk with the new professionals. We will also talk with the Forum of National Archivists about accessibility and security. So with this first group of speakers, we welcome you to this 7th edition of the International Archives Week. And thank you and goodbye. Au revoir, adios, et merci beaucoup. Au revoir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.